and more with no paywall. Head to DeWittDailyNews.com to get the local information you need to know.
From the Hart Media Group newsroom and DeWittDailyNews.com, I'm Ben Hubbard with this expanded morning newscast. Good morning and thanks for being with us. I'm your host today, Ben Hubbard. The news is brought to you by Baum Chevy Buick in Clinton, your Silverado headquarters, as well as Connexus, offering fiber internet in Clinton. Click their icon on DeWittDailyNews.com to find out more. The Clinton Community Education Foundation Friday morning wrapped up its 2026 distribution of annual funding to Clinton schools' classrooms through its teacher grant program. Just over $14,000 was awarded to classrooms across the district Thursday morning at Lincoln Elementary School. Mrs. Angela Ball received a $1,000 grant to enhance the Lincoln and Douglas Family Night.
This is a grant for our family night, which is all K and first grade students are invited. We have one at Douglas and one here. And it provides fun activities for the students. The teachers volunteer and help at the different stations. At the end, they're provided with a couple books and a math kit that they can take home and keep. And even if they don't come, they still get the kit. Sure. So it's just a nice family engagement to see the teachers, get the kids in, get the teachers and the parents talking, and just a great family engagement. It just is overall a great thing. I mean, reaching out to the community, having an opportunity for an event. At this age, we don't have, sports and all those things where we can have all of them come in. So it is just a great way to reach out. The items that we give them, the books are themed. The items are a lot of math manipulatives that they can use. So just a great whole event.
At Clinton Elementary School, librarian Christina Soboralski was awarded $750 to help families build home libraries through its Literacy Night in April.
It is for Family Literacy Night. So it will take place in April. Right now we have it scheduled for April 23rd. We are inviting first graders to come over as well as our current students, second through fifth grade, to just have a fun family literacy night. We will have stations. The Scholastic Book Fair will be here. We'll have the public library. I've reached out to them. They're going to help with that literacy night. And it's just promoting reading and just the love of reading. So usually we try to get authors most of the time every year. This year just didn't work out with funding, but definitely we are working on funds for next year's author visits. And of course, I usually do reach out to Foundation because they're fantastic about giving money also towards author visits. So yes, author visits will be coming again. This one we're just really focusing on just community and just reading. Yeah, so it'll be Thursday, April 23rd. Tentatively right now, I think it's 5 to 7. And then more details will go out to public and the schools.
Lori Hubrick secured $700 for adaptive resources to help students with diverse learning needs communicate and learn effectively.
We do lots of adaptive work here. Our kids, some of them can't read, some can't. They are nonverbal, and we need lots of materials to help us with this so they can continue to learn like the rest of the kids. It will be right where they are. A lot of times the other kids have their textbooks and we just don't fit into that mold. We do a lot of adaptive books, lots of picture with words. We do lots of reading like we did the Boxcar Children, and we make our characters and any of them could tell you anything about Boxcar Children.
Sure.
We just take regular gen ed curriculum and make it to where we can do it.
The grants also ensure that longstanding traditions continue. Kristen Hoyt received funding for the annual second grade trip to Raider Farm. The tradition of bringing back a pumpkin for a book report project is one students across the district remember fondly.
We've been going to Raider Farms for several years now, but it seems to get more and more expensive every year. But it is a very, very fun trip for the kids. At the pumpkin farm, the kids get to select a pumpkin from the pumpkin patch that they then take home and turn into a main character from a book. So not only does this tie into our science standards with learning about the life cycle of plants and a pumpkin, but then we get to put the story elements and take it into our ELA standards and make it into a book. Yeah, I think we're creating core memories for sure for them to remember. I know that the older kids always remember, oh yeah, the field trip we went on in second grade, Raider Farms. And I think it's a fun project that kids can work on at home with their family members. Before we do the project, we talk about character, setting, the plot, the sequence of events in the story, and then students can demonstrate their understanding of that when they fill out their book report. The pumpkin is like the main character, but then they still have to talk about all the other story elements in their book report.
Laura Bass was awarded the grant for her room transformation project designed to create a fully immersive learning environment for her students.
I received a grant to help with room transformations, which make it a really fun way for kids to keep learning while we transform the room around them. So this money will go toward the Glow grant, where we turn all the lights down. We have a lot of things glowing, and we just work on activities kind of in the dark and make it a lot more fun. This one will go toward more glow lights and also more of the streamers and decorations. But in addition, it will help with some of the games that we've planned. And we did it last year, but a lot of that came out of teachers' pockets. So, you know, the extras that we weren't aware of. So this will just really help to make it a complete experience for well, a lot of times we use it as a review, but we get to practice those skills that we've been working so hard on. And it really ups the engagement because students are super excited about what's going on. Some of the quotes from this year were, "This is the best day ever, you know, this is the best." And so it's that just increases engagement quite a bit.
Sarah Douglas also received support for the Achieve program, focusing on community outings that allow students to practice social skills in real-world settings.
It's for community outings. We would like to go and take the kids to multiple events like the zoo and a restaurant and out to a store to expose them to leisure activities and to find items in a store and to order food at a restaurant independently. It is a self-contained room. We do work on life skills, but we also work on academics in this room.
To boost literacy, Jesse Peterson's grant will provide clip-on book lights to students, encouraging them to keep reading even after the lights go out.
Yes, I'm really excited. We are going to buy book lights so that we can do different times during the day where we're going to turn off everything in the classroom and make it like a blackout and use the book lights to enforce reading. It kind of adds a little more pizzazz to the typical reading day. They just like a little more excitement. Sometimes reading by fifth grade is sometimes some kids love it, some are just kind of frowning upon it. And we're just trying to add a little extra plus to it.
New technology is also coming to the district. Shelby Shipley secured funding for AI translation earbuds to bridge communication gaps with English language learning families.
I requested funds for some AI translating earphones. I am the fifth grade teacher that handles most of the students that come to us that don't speak English as a first language. And these earphones will help translate to English or to Spanish so that can improve communication between the students and I. It's a general ed classroom, and all the students in here are getting the same education, regardless of what language they speak. But being able to communicate in each other's languages just smooths that path to education. Luckily this year I have a couple of students who can help me translate for the others. But last year I didn't have that option, and it was a challenge. I was always pulling my phone out to use the translator app and having to try to find other means, dance, sing, whatever the case might be. And this is just going to make it a much smoother process.
And finally, Lindsay French received $750 to expand the school's collection of bilingual books.
So I wrote the CCEF teacher grant for our ESL students, so English as a second language. And these are books that they will get to take home and add to their home library. And so I will get books in English and their home language just so they can practice both. And also some of our families aren't speaking English or reading English. And if I send some home in Spanish, their families can read it with them. And then their students can also help them learn English. So I am our district's ESL teacher. So I work this year. I have students first grade through eighth grade, and I just work with them learning English, and I also help support the teachers in helping their instruction. And then this year I'm pushing into the classroom, so whatever they're learning in class, I will help them know what's kind of going on and what the lesson's on, and help in that way. So this is our second year of having an ESL teacher in the district, and we have gained some students each year who English is not their first language. So I've been it's having to schedule 4 different schools and going back and forth and just helping. So it's just kind of working out those scheduling kinks and making sure I can help support the best I can. I'm just really excited to give the students opportunities to get books, and then we do a survey, and they get to kind of choose what books they get to make sure they're ones that they want.
More to come with the teacher grant story from the CCEF. You're listening to the WHOW Morning Show. Let's take a quick break with a word from our sponsors.
March into Baum Chevrolet Buick and march out with a new Chevrolet. This is Scott Baum from Baum Chevrolet Buick in Clinton and Farmer City. We have over 20 Silverados to fit your daily work needs in 1500, 2500, and 3500s in gas or diesel, all sale priced. Also, check out the Colorado pickup. This size and maneuverability may be another option as well. Chevrolet, together, let's drive. Baum Chevrolet Buick, right from the start.
Experience the power of better connection with Connexus Fiber Internet. Connexus delivers ultra-fast, reliable speeds to keep you connected at the speed of life. Whether you're working from home, streaming your favorite shows, or gaming with your friends, Connexus has you covered. Say goodbye to buffering and dropped calls and say hello to fiber fast internet. Ready to upgrade your connection? Sign up today by clicking the Connexus icon at DeWittDailyNews.com. Nothing connects us like Connexus.
News time is 20 minutes after the top of the hour. You're listening to the WHOW Morning Show. The teacher grants announcements continued at the junior high school and high school on Friday, starting with Kelby McMath, who received $500 to bring a mobile virtual reality Holocaust exhibit to his 8th grade students.
I do. We're going to rent VR headsets from the Illinois Holocaust Museum, and the kids get to experience in virtual reality what the survivors of the Holocaust went through. These take the kids back to the camps with the survivor talking about what they experienced and went through, and so it's a really immersive experience for them. It's not really feasible for us to go over to Europe, so this is a really cool way to get the kids, experiencing that firsthand.
In the culinary arts department, Michelle Knapp was awarded nearly $1,200 to replace aging KitchenAid mixers, providing students with essential hands-on life skills.
So not only am I the Skills USA advisor, I'm also the FACS teacher. So I have everyone from my 6th graders all the way through my advanced 8th graders who are constantly using the mixers, using the kitchens to learn how to provide themselves with food later in life. Yes, they were here before I was hired at Clinton, and they're getting to the point where they work, but they're really wobbly, and I'm beginning to worry about safety with the kids and that kind of thing. So it was time to replace them. We use them for pretty much constantly from October through December, and then again from February through May.
Literacy remained a focus at the junior high as Stacy McMath received funding for postage to maintain a pen pal program with students in Italy.
Ours is for the postage for pen pals to Italy.
Tell us about this program. What's it all about?
Sure. I started it 15 years ago when I started here, and I have correspondence we've done all over the world. And so we write letters to our Italian pen pals this year. We actually just received our second one yesterday. So the kids are going to be writing back, talking about a day in the life of an American teenager.
That's really cool.
Yeah, we try to highlight things that are going on in Clinton, and then they try to highlight things that are going on in Italy.
Cool.
So really
Nice.
a nice cultural experience for my kids. The last few years we've done Italy. This teacher has been very helpful in getting letters to and from consistently. But years past, we've done Poland, New Zealand, Australia, Canada. We've been all over. Absolutely, yes. Postage has been very expensive to send packages. So I'm very thankful for this grant. Yeah, I kind of opened it up to the kids. So they have sent pictures. They've done some artwork. They've made some bracelets. So more of like personal creations they're able to send. We do have some restrictions on what can and cannot be sent.
Sure, yeah.
But today a lot of my kids have received euros and some Italian candy,
Oh,
which was
really?
pretty
Oh,
neat.
cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, we love the snail mail. So I think the anticipation of waiting for a package has been really exciting for my kids. We're working on our writing skills. They're working on their English skills. And so we're keeping it kind of the old fashioned way, but that anticipation piece has been the best part.
For students interested in media, Ben Pirtle secured a $2,300 grant for equipment to enhance the digital media journalism course, doubling student access to professional tools.
So my grant is for extra Mac Minis for us to do our video editing and processing and things like that. It's extra lighting. You can kind of see in the background, we've got PVC and clamp lamps that we've been making do with, and the kids have done a tremendous job making do with what we've got. But this is going to be a way to kind of take that next step into a little bit more professional set design and production values. So we do a lot about, at the beginning of the year, especially on journalistic ethics and right. So what makes a good story, what makes responsible news work, and making sure that we're doing our due diligence and doing the best we can for the people who watch and the people who consume our stuff, but also, elevate the things that are going on in our building and our community. The goal of education is to get kids doing things. And so our limitation has been, we only have so much equipment, only so much time. This will effectively double our output. And so we've got more kids on machines, more kids doing things, more kids out in the hall interviewing with teleprompters and mics and all the things that go into that. And so again, it's a massive increase in that hands-on experience for them.
Innovation took flight in Kristen Wilson's classroom, where a $1,000 reward will integrate drones and coding into 6th grade math lessons.
It's called Math Takes Flight, and it's for a set of classroom drones. Two things. We're going to use them for like rates and proportions and that sort of thing in the math unit and the curriculum. And then I'm also going to start a new elective for our kids to take in the fall. It's going to be a coding class. So they're going to start with the puzzle pieces that will eventually lead them to Python programming, which is what they use in the real world. And they're going to take Spheros first, and they're going to use that block programming, and the drones use the same thing. So then that way they can correlate it to like some of the jobs in our community. Like we've got agricultural drones that are being used, and like we've got local photographers using them too. So we're hoping that way they can see connection and then give them a building block into the real world. This is the world. They're immersed in it. They probably know more about things than I do. And so it's going to be a very, like, the kids are going to want to do it. And so that's half the battle, is finding something to keep them motivated. And that's the world they're growing up in. And I want them to be job ready.
At the high school level, Nicole Binder received $750 to expand the Literacy for All program, providing bilingual reading materials and welcoming packages for new families.
So I work with a lot of our English language learning students, and we are trying to build a home library for them in English, but also in their home languages.
Sure.
It's really hard to find books in other languages around here, and so we can order them, and so that they can build up their language, so that they can keep their literacy up in English, but also in their native language. Yeah, we have a class over. Well, Lindsay French is our ESL teacher, and she teaches K through 8, and then I have an ESL class here at the high school. It is not a challenge. It is really fun. Absolutely, our students are really motivated to learn, and so they're very focused. They really want to, and so we get a lot of work done. At the high school level, it's a little bit more challenging just because credits are on the line for classes. But I mean, all of my kids are really fantastic. They do a great job.
In the vocational arts, Fred Knapp was awarded $1,000 to begin replacing 50-year-old work tables and vices in the woodworking shop.
So we applied for a grant to try to start replacing some of the woodshop tables. They are, we think, probably original to this building when it was built in the 1970s.
Wow.
So they're pretty old. They've definitely seen some better days, kind of abused and well used through the years. So it's just time to start replacing them so you have a nice, smooth, flat surface to work on that makes it so much easier. So what we've been working on is trying to make sure that, one, we have equipment that is functional for meeting the kids' needs to do immediate projects, as well as trying to update and stay relevant with trends that might help them in the job and the workplace once they leave Clinton High School. So some of the things that we have purchased have been, we have purchased several CNC milling machines for the wood shop. We have purchased 2 safety saws so that they're called saw stops. If your finger accidentally touches one of the saws, it retracts the blade and stops it in 1/1000th of a second.
Wow.
So prevents you from cutting your fingers and stuff off. Wow. In the welding shop side, we've started replacing some of the welders. We've added a plasma CNC cutter that'll cut out 4x8 sheets of metal into different parts that we can use for various and assorted projects.
Chris Schaefer is the CCEF secretary and indicates that the yearly grants are put in by teachers around Christmas time, and then the CCEF board works through all those applications to hopefully fund as many initiatives that go above and beyond the regular school's budget.
We're able to use our annual campaign funds as well as some of our investment funds to help support that. This year, we had 18 grants submitted, and we supported those with $14,402. Wow. So we're really so excited to be able to enhance the opportunities for all of the students throughout the Clinton Community schools. The special projects were up to about $10,000, $10,000 to $11,000, and that's above and beyond the classroom grants. And these are projects that are done annually, and they're so cool, like the Float the Boat project that they do, or the Volcano project. So those are things that are done on an annual basis, and instead of the teachers requesting money and a grant every year, we've just started kicking those in. So as annual program.
Check out WHOW on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube for videos of the teachers discussing their grants. Get news anytime from your computer or your mobile device at DeWittDailyNews.com.
With SRN News, I'm Rich Thomason in Washington. It has been confirmed it was friendly fire that brought down 3 American fighter jets during combat operations in the war with Iran. The U.S. military says Kuwait mistakenly shot down the planes. The pilots and crew members all bailed out. They are in stable condition. President Trump says the war could last about a month. He's honoring several American service members killed in Kuwait, killed by an Iranian airstrike. The president says we grieve for the true American patriots. As Israel and the U.S. continue to strike Iran, the Iranians have been striking back. At least 10 people have been killed in Israel. At least 555 people have been killed in Iran so far. On Wall Street this morning, Dow futures down 580 points. NASDAQ futures off 367. More details, srnnews.com.
So my friends over at Pure Talk have been sending me customer feedback from consumeraffairs.com, where thousands of people rate and review the top wireless providers. Here, for instance, is a nice note from James in Raleigh, North Carolina, who writes, quote, after hearing Mike Rowe's ad, we made the switch to Pure Talk, and we couldn't be happier. We went from spending $1,200 a year with T-Mobile to $420 with Pure Talk. Thanks, Mike. Switch today! Exclamation point. Pure Talk is saving James $820 a year. And because he literally wrote the words switch today in capital letters with an exclamation point, I'm going to go ahead and dedicate this commercial to him. So folks, take it from James in Raleigh, North Carolina. Pure Talk can give you unlimited talk, text, and plenty of data for just $25 a month on the same 5G service the big guys are overcharging you for. Just dial pound 250, say Mike Rowe. You'll also save 50% off your first month. That's pound 250 to save an additional 50%. Thanks, James.
This is staff meteorologist Jennifer Wojcicki with your regional radio forecast.
Overcast today with a high of 42. East winds 8 to 15 miles per hour. Slight chance of rain showers. Tonight, lows around 36. Cloudy skies expected. Overcast skies. Tomorrow, storms likely. Daytime highs approaching 51. Hear weather twice an hour or online anytime at DeWittDailyNews.com. Currently, it's 32 degrees.
From the Hart Media Group Sports Desk, IL Sports Wire, and DeWittDailyNews.com, I'm Ben Hubbard with this local sports report. In high school boys basketball sectional semifinal matchups tonight, in Class 1A, 2-seed Tremont will play the 9-seed Illini Bluffs at Monmouth United at 6 p.m., while top-seeded Tuscola takes on 3rd-seed Altamont at Meridian at 7 p.m. First-seeded Leroy plays the 6th-seed Champaign St. Thomas More at Danville Schlarman at 7 p.m. In Class 2A, the top-seeded Teutopolis goes to play the 2nd-seed Warrensburg Latham at Monticello at 6:30 p.m., while at Pleasant Plains is top-seeded Quincy Notre Dame versus 2nd-seed Roxana at 7 p.m. Top-seeded Peoria Manual takes on the 2-seed Riverdale at IVC at 8 p.m. In Class 3A, top-seeded Decatur MacArthur plays 2-seed Champaign Centennial at Mahomet Seymour at 7 p.m. And in Class 4A, top-seeded Normal Community takes on the 3-seed Richwoods at Rock Island at 7:30 p.m. In high school girls basketball super sectional championship matchups tonight, 1-seed Mount Pulaski plays 2-seed Edwards County at Arcola at 6 p.m., while the top-seeded DMAC plays 3-seed Wethersfield at Bureau Valley at 6 p.m. In Class 2A, a matchup of 1-seeds Tri-Valley at Pleasant Plains at 7 p.m., while in a matchup of 2 seeds, Breese Central versus Teutopolis at Benton at 6 p.m. In Class 3A, 1st-seed Decatur MacArthur is at 1-seed Chatham Glenwood at 6 p.m., while top-seeded Washington plays 1-seed Providence at Kankakee at 6:30 p.m. Alex Hubergest's 21 points helped Bradley defeat Murray State 87-78 on Sunday. Hubergest shot 6 for 9, 2 for 5 from three-point range, and 7 of 7 from the free throw line for the Braves, who improved to 20-11 and 13-7 in the Missouri Valley Conference. Jaquan Johnson scored 16 points, going 5 of 12 and 6 of 9 from the free throw line. A.J. Smith had 14 points and shot 4 of 4 from the field and 4 of 6 from the foul line. Roman Doman led the way for the Racers, who fall to 20-11 and 12-8 in the MVC. He scored 20 points and had 7 rebounds and 4 assists. Frederick King added 17 points and 8 rebounds for Murray State. Javon Jackson also had 12 points. Johnny Kinziger had 16 points in Illinois State's 81-74 victory over Belmont on Sunday. Kinziger added 6 assists for the Redbirds, who improved to 20-11 and 12-8 in the Missouri Valley Conference. Bowden Skunberg scored 15 points, going 4 for 6 from the three-point range and 3 for 4 from the free throw line. Ty Pence scored 14 points. Tyler Lundblade led the Bruins with 17 points. They fall to 26-5 and 16-4 in the MVC. Jabez Jenkins added 14 points, 6 rebounds, and 3 steals. Jack Smiley had 11 points and 4 assists. Pence scored 10 points in the first half, and Illinois State went into halftime trailing 40-38. Illinois State pulled off the victory after a 12-2 second-half run, erased a 6-point deficit, and gave them the lead at 71-67 with 3 minutes and 41 seconds left in the half. Skunberg scored 12 second-half points. Illinois closed the First Pitch Invitational with a 14-6 victory over UAlbany at Fluor Field on Sunday afternoon. Now winners of 5 straight games, the Fighting Illini went a perfect 3-0 over the weekend while improving to 7-4 on the season. Michael Farina and Kyle Shupman both registered 3 hits, while Colin Jennings and AJ Putty posted 3 RBIs apiece. The Illini used 9 pitchers during the contest, with Mitch Dye earning the victory behind his 2.2 shutout innings with 2 strikeouts. The Orange and Blue pitching staff logged 10 strikeouts, with 3 players tallying multiple strikeouts. In the top half of the second, the Orange and Blue opened the scoring on Jennings' 4th home run of the season. 2 innings later, the Illini added 3 more runs on Putty's 2-run homer over the Green Monster in left before 1 more run across the plate on a wild pitch. The Great Danes got on the board for the first time in the 4th before Jack Zebig drove in a run in the top of the 6th, giving Illinois a 6-2 advantage. UAlbany evened the score in the home half of the frame, but the Illini answer right back with a 3-run 7th, establishing a 9-6 edge behind a sacrifice fly, an error, and an RBI single from Shupman. After Dye held the Great Danes scoreless in the 7th and 8th, the Illini added insurance in the 9th, a 2-run triple from Jennings, followed by an error and 2 run-scoring wild pitches, gave the Orange and Blue a 14-6 edge heading into the home half of the 9th. A 1-2-3 inning in the 9th rounded out the Illini's 8-run victory. The Illinois State baseball program captured a 14-7 win over Middle Tennessee State to conclude the weekend series Sunday afternoon. With the win, the Redbirds improved their record to 7-4 in 2026. The Redbirds catapulted to an 8-0 advantage after a 2-out rally in the opening inning. After a trio of walks, with the bases loaded, sophomore Eric Machej singled to drive in a pair of runs to open the scoring. Graduate Camden Karchewski added another single to drive in an additional 2 runs. Senior Nolan Berry tallied his first hit of the season with an RBI single to drive in another run. As the Redbirds batted around the order, junior Luke Stolga recorded an RBI single to grow Illinois State's first inning lead to 6. Moments later, a Blue Raiders error brought in another run as Berry scored. Senior Josh Outlaw singled to drive home Stolga to cap off Illinois State's 8-run opening frame. In the bottom of the second, MTSU pulled a run back to make the score 8-1 after an RBI single. After a base hit from redshirt sophomore Braden Bakes and a walk from junior Graham Mastros, the Redbirds capitalized on a wild pitch to advance the 2 runners into scoring position. Later, Michael Carano reached on an MTSU error as Bakes and Mastros scored to give Illinois State a 10-1 lead in the top of the 4th. And in the bottom half of the inning, the Blue Raiders used a 2 RBI double and a 2-run home run to cut into the Redbirds' lead and make the score 10-5. Illinois State added another run in the 6th as Stolga drove in Karchewski on a sacrifice fly to grow the Redbirds' lead to 11-5. In the next inning, Illinois State added another run after Bakes doubled and Machej brought him home on an RBI single to push the Redbirds' advantage to 12-5. In the bottom of the 7th, MTSU added a run with an RBI single to make the score 12-6. Berry extended the Illinois State lead 13-6 after a solo home run, the first of his Division I career, in the 8th inning. Braden Bakes added another solo home run to make the score 14-6 in the top half of the 9th frame. The Blue Raiders added a run in the bottom half of the 9th to make the score 14-7. Reese Clapp tallied 2 strikeouts in the final frame to close out the victory. Josh Giddey had 20 points, 14 rebounds, and 10 assists for his 8th triple-double this season, and the Chicago Bulls used a 27-0 run and beat the Milwaukee Bucks 120-97 on Sunday and stopped an 11-game losing streak. Colin Sexton added 22 points and Mattis Buzelis had 20, helping Chicago come out on top after matching their 3rd worst skid in franchise history. Bobby Portis scored 18 points for Milwaukee. The Bucks missed 17 straight shots down the stretch in their 2nd straight blowout loss. The Bulls trailed by 16 in the second quarter following a 17-0 run by Milwaukee and were down 66-51 at halftime. It was 89-81 late in the third when Trey Jones made 2 free throws for Chicago to start the decisive rally. Buzelis hit a tying floater to start the fourth, and Colin Sexton gave the Bulls a 91-89 lead with a pull-up jumper just under a minute into the quarter. The Bucks went about 7.5 minutes without scoring before Kevin Porter Jr. made 2 free throws with 5 minutes and 51 seconds left, and they missed the 17 straight shots before Ousmane Dieng with 3 minutes and 12 seconds to play. The Bucks host Boston on Monday night, while the Bulls host Oklahoma City on Tuesday night. Teuvo Teravainen scored twice. Arvid Soderblom made 22 saves in his first NHL shutout, and the Chicago Blackhawks beat the Utah Mammoth 4-0 on Sunday to end a 3-game losing streak. Nick Foligno and Landon Slaggert also scored to help the Blues win for just their second win in 10 games. Chicago had allowed at least 3 goals in 8 straight games. Karel Vejmelka stopped 24 shots for Utah. The Mammoth were shut out for the first time at home this season and the 5th time overall. Teravainen started the scoring on a power play with 55 seconds left in the first period. He controlled the puck off a blocked shot and snapped it around Vejmelka's side. Foligno had an unassisted goal with 8 minutes and 22 seconds remaining in the second. He caught Vejmelka out of position and put a backhander between the goalie and a defender. Landon Slaggert snapped the puck from 40 feet away with 6 minutes and 53 seconds left in the second, and Teravainen had a shorthanded goal a minute 25 into the third. The Blackhawks are at Winnipeg on Tuesday night, while the Mammoth are at Washington on Tuesday night. Pavel Buchnevich scored late in the third period, and the St. Louis Blues snapped a 10-game road losing streak by beating the Minnesota Wild 3-1 on Sunday. Logan Malu and Alexei